Welcome guys, sifu Oluwatobi is here. On today's training, I just want to teach you uh, 5 important technique in Wing Chun that you can use on the street. So if you want to fight on the street or you want to fight a street fighter. So now, and I want you to pay attention and watch this closely so that you can get the full information about this technique, right? So there are possibilities that if your opponent that want to fight you on street throw punch from long distance like this. So now if you want to go for this, so now step out of your opponent center so that in case your opponent want to go for 1-2, so right, so and remember the second punch just slip away right like this. So but if your opponent use single punch, it's just going to be more effective on the opponent like this. So just go like that. So you just simulate control your opponent's hand like this and you back out your opponent. So you can go for your opponent face like this or you go for your opponent neck like this. So now to now make that more effective on your opponent, so you can go like this. So you can go like that. So as you control your opponent's hand like this, so you now transfer the power to you will now transfer the hand to this hand right here so that you cannot lap this hand right here. So you now punch your opponent like this. So that is that about that. So that's that. So that's that about that. So but in case your opponent want to go for 1-2 in that form, right? So if you go like this, so if you go with this, so and your opponent go for second punch, right? So it will be very easier for you to simulate. So like that. So just go like that. So that is how that really look like. So just go like this. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So I hope that that's really clear. You can get this right. So that is how that really look like. So that is an effective hit that you can easily use to defeat your opponent if your opponent is a street fighter and if he is applying like that. So just go like that. So that's that. So sorry. So that is that about that. But if you don't want your opponent to be more ugly like that, you can go for your opponent chest like that. So yeah, you can go for your opponent's chest like this. So just go like that. So that is how that really look like. I hope you can see that clearly. I can understand it right. So now, if your opponent, if you are done with that, that is a good achievement for you. So, but what you have to know is that you have to step out of your opponent's center. If you are doing that technique, so you have to step out of your opponent's center so that you'll be able to deflect your opponent's hand properly, right? So and you won't use a lot of strength if you are doing that. So just go with this. So if your opponent use 1-2, right? So just go with that. So sorry, just go with that. So that's how that really look like. I hope you can see that clearly and you can understand it right. So this is first technique that you can use to defeat your opponent if your opponent is a street fight and you want to punch you like that. So that is that about that. So let us move to another attack, right? That is possible to use on the street fight, right? Now this is second move that you can use on the street, right? Maybe your opponent is throwing punch from long distance. So Wing Chun teach you how to apply on long range so that you can stop your opponent long range attack like this. So you use your yin kick like that. Sorry. So you use your yin kick. So meanwhile, your opponent is going to a little bit lean front to let that punch hit you, right? So you just go like that. So that's that. So or you go with this. So that is that about that. So once you go with this, so as you can see, that punch does not reach me. Your opponent punch will not be able to reach you. So that's the first thing in Wing Chun. So we usually train a lot about our yin kick, right? So just go like that. So and as you are using your yin kick, don't let your hand down. Don't let your hand down so that in case your opponent re-strategize himself quickly and move close to you, so you'll be able to respond quickly. So that is why you have to stay on your guard like this. So just go like that. So just go like so just go with that. I hope you can see that clearly. You can understand it right. Now, if you are not done with that, so you can easily moving to your opponent. So maybe your opponent lean forward. So that's that. So just go. So that's that about that. So you quickly moving to your opponent like that. So that's the first thing. Or you go for your opponent makeup strike. So you go for your opponent makeup. So just go with that, or you go like this. Go, or you go like this. So you go, yeah. So I hope you can see how I use that. You go here, or you go here. So, and once you apply that throw punch, so your opponent punch will not be able to hit you. Your opponent punch will not reach you. So that is possibility. That is possible attack a Wing Chun that you can use on street, right? To stop your opponent from giving you rush attack or give you uh, 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 launch point from long distance to destroy you and moving quickly to you. So that's that about that. So you just go, oh, you go here, oh, you go like this. So you go here, you go here. So that's that about that. But if you now want to create an effective hit, so you can go with this. So once you go with that, you now moving quickly. So go with this, kick. So just go with that. So just go with that. I hope you can see that clearly and you can understand it right. Watch it closely and learn everything. So the reason why I don't rush myself or I don't fast in using all those techniques is that you can be able to see it on how I use it and effective use of that technique, so that you will be able to get the full information about the technique, right? So that is that about that. If you are not yet follow me or subscribe to my YouTube channel, do that now so that you won't miss my interesting video. So I'll be right back after this time out. Welcome back. So now this is another thing. So maybe your opponent just quickly moving with 1-2 punch, right? So like this. So now go with that. So that's that. So this is very effective, but you don't need to be afraid or you don't need to be scared, so that this technique will be possible or will be more effective on your opponent, and you'll be able to use this successfully on your opponent. So your opponent just use rush attack, moving quickly to you, right? So in order now to stop him from using third attack, so you quickly use your elbow strike. So just moving, and meanwhile you have to learn how to simulate attack. So simulate. So as you simulate, you now use your elbow strike on your opponent like this. So that's that about that. So that's that. So that's that. So now if you succeed in doing that, you can now you can now finish your opponent off with your chin punch, right? So you just go. So that's that. So that's that. So that is how that really look like. I hope you can see this clearly and you can understand it right. So this is third form, third technique that you can use on the street. If at all you find yourself at the street and you want your Wing Chun to work for you, so that is that about that. So follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So let us move next to next technique, and that is fourth technique that you can use on the street, right? Now on the fourth technique, so this really work if you want to fight haymaker, right? Haymaker throw punch from long distance, right? So like this. So now just go moving. So you a little bit lean back. So that's that. So you a little bit lean back, and I'm doing this technique so that you can know the technique that really work on the street. Because if you don't know how to do this, it is very difficult for you to fight on the street, right? So, and meanwhile in Wing Chun we don't lean back, but in my home Wing Chun I introduced that. But for you to lean back, you have to do a lot of training, because if I lean back like this, I train myself that if I lean back like this, and even if at all my opponent want to, because this is open or this is vulnerable for my opponent to punch, right? And remember, I told you that you have to learn your weak point before you learn your opponent's weak point, right? Any step or any move or any stance you take, just know your weak point. So by that, you are going to know the next place that your opponent can easily attack, right? So now, if I lean back like this, I don't put down my guard, or if at all, if I put down my guide, so I know what I'm doing because I know my weak point, right? So if I lean back like this and my opponent want to punch me on my stomach like this, so it is very easier for me to block like this, even if my hand is down. So you can see it. So I can go here, regenerate strength back. So that is how I train myself, and I want you also to train yourself like that also. So even if my hand is like this and I lean back like this and my opponent want to go for my stomach like this, so like this, I won't let that happen like this. So I now move into my opponent. So there are some certain technique, or there are some certain exercise and training that you have to do so that you'll be able to respond if you find yourself like this. So that's that about that, but that is another day training, right? Now, so if your opponent now throw punch like this, so a little bit lean back, so you move in. So I move in quickly. So as I a little bit lean back like this, even if I'm like this, so as you can see, this punch does not reach me, right? Cannot reach me, no matter how how hard my opponent may try. So try. So as you can see, try again. So as you can see, so that punch does not reach me. So now he now throw the second punch, right? So and I use my BUG form. So now apply with my punch at the same time like that. So just go like that. So that is how that really look like. I hope you can get it right and you can see it correctly. And if you have any question, ask me at the comment section. And if you want to join my personal online training, in which I'm going to be teaching you everything step by step in a way that you are going to become expert in no time, hit me up at the comment section, and I'll be ready to tell you how you can join my personal online training. So let us dive into the last technique that you can use on street, right? Welcome back, and this is this fifth technique you can use on street, right? So maybe your opponent are too many, but you don't want to waste time. So and one person is at your front, right? You don't wait for that person. So maybe that person is wasting your time. So and you are full of strength, like this, like this. So you are full of strength. So you are expecting your opponent to punch, but your opponent doesn't punch, right? You now be the first person to punch your opponent, right? So at the same time as you punch your opponent like this, so be expecting your opponent to respond quickly. So the reason why I go for my opponent call is that in order to let my opponent respond quickly. So that is that about that. But if it is your opponent face that is vulnerable for you to attack first, you can easily go for that, and that is going to be more suitable for you to attack your opponent face. But if your opponent face have already occupied like this, so you now prepare for quick response from your opponent. As you punch like this, so your opponent is going to respond quickly also. So as your opponent respond, let me use this closely. So you go like this. So as your opponent respond, so you just use boom shower. So you just resort back to boom shower. So and if you train a lot, do a lot of training on Chi, you'll be able to use this technique successfully, because Chi teach you how to sense your opponent's next move and how to respond quickly on your opponent, and how to use your sticky hand with your opponent, right? So you punch like this, so your opponent just respond quickly. You also use boom shower to simulate that hand. So like this, so like this, you use boom shower like this, and your opponent use the second point to just control this hand to this side like this. So you now go for your opponent's face. Let me do this from this side so that you can see it clearly. So this. So so that is how that really look like. So let me use this once again slowly. So you go like this, punch, your opponent is going to respond. Now you have already breached this hand, so your opponent used the second punch. So now go with this. So that is that about that. So that will not let you waste time on your opponent that is on your front, because there are more people at your back to respond to attack as well. And once you take that move with your opponent, that means you have already break the circle. So once you break the circle, you will find time to face the rest opponent. So that is that about that. I hope you can see this clearly, you can understand it right. And if you have not yet subscribed or follow me on every social media handle, do that now so that you won't miss my training video. And let us know how you feel about this training. And if you have any question, drop it at the comment section. If you want to join my personal online training, ask me and I'll be right there to tell you the link or tell you how you can join my personal online training. Keep on liking, keep on subscribing, keep on sharing. Peace and out.